Okay, this is Mario once again. Finally, I finished cleaning up my go-kart here, my racing go-kart. As you can see, now it doesn't have even the bar that I put, that square tubing that I was using from that go-kart. I had another bar here, square tubing across this frame, and so I decided to do away with that. And it's a lot simpler, it's a lot cleaner, a lot lighter. I just mounted my speed controllers over these. With this tubing was just some 3/4 inch clamps. It's used for electrical conduit. So it's coming out really well. No extra parts. I just clamped it real nice and simple, lightweight. I kept this my batteries at the back. These batteries do not have the switches here. I don't need the switches because I already have a switch, main switch right there. And so I took out these switches because they actually burned. They didn't hold up as well as I thought they would. But considering that this has a 30 amp fuses, those switches are garbage. They don't. I don't think you can even draw 5 amps. From through the switches. They go bad. They tend to lock up. Same thing happened on these. I was just running this. I just ran this guy right here, and then I ran this one, and I just came back, and then the switch, this my voltmeter went off. So I started looking at the connections. Connections are fine. The switch, I turned this off. I started playing with this to see if it remains on. Nothing. So I took it apart. Well, I didn't take it apart. I just pulled it out as far as I could. And I just joined that one of the contact. I just joined it just to get back here because I went to the park, just a few blocks away from here. So I got stuck in the park. I was running this in the yard, over the grass, and it rides over even grass. It rides really nice. Otherwise, it's bumpy. But I was able to get it back. With this just joining those two wires as best as I could. I had to put a penny there just to get it to make contact, and that's how I knew that was bad. So I'm going to just completely remove these switches. I don't need the switches because again we have a switch here, so I don't need the switches. And I'm just going to hardwire there without those switches because those switches are garbage. If I wanted to put switches here, I would go with something a lot better than these switches. These parts are great. They're sockets for these Ryobi batteries. They're good, but the contacts are good, but these switches are garbage. So I am going to remove those and just go straight, so I don't have any issues. While I'm running this. My lights are still on because I have to disconnect this battery here. The way I have disconnected, I should run it through I should double check that and make sure that for some reason those lights are still on. And so I have to disconnect the battery completely to remove the power. I'll be getting a DC to DC converter in the next couple of days, so I'll be installing that, so I don't have to use a spare battery here. Although that is going to drain the battery a little bit, when I ride this at night. But at least, it's another option. I mean, I could still do this. I think this is a much better option now that I think about it because. The batteries, it's a separate power for the lights in the front and lights in the back. It also provides power to my high voltage brake. I'm connecting the brake to the 12 volts here, and that is so that I can also use the brake lights. So when I put the brake on, they go high, much more intense. But that's all run through the leads that say one of the leads says connect to high voltage. I guess they want you to connect to the battery voltage that you're running the system, but I can't run it to this because then I can't. I could run it a separate wire, but I want to run this with the brake light. So this brake is also connected to the back lights, and so when I activate the switch right here for the brake, that puts 12 volts on the brake, not only on the high brake of these speed controls, which are running in parallel, but also for the tail light. Okay, so yeah, finally, you know, I painted the frame, so it looks really spiffy. I shortened these bars too because this was and I shortened the frame also. This was extending by about 6 additional inches in the back. I just didn't want to have you know, too much of an extension at the rear, so that's how it looks. You know, it's a little bit different than my original setup, but it looks good. It got good. It's got good angle for rest, for backrest. My feet are actually they go past my here. Let me sit on them. They go past these bars right here, and I have a bar that I just painted, and I'm going to be putting across that. You know, so that's how. If I were to just put my feet all the way down on 511, you know, I can rest my feet right there. Once that bar is in place, and once I support that, I'm going to triangulate that with this bar right here from the center there, so that those bars don't move if I put pressure, you know, on my feet here. My brake that I've been using on this one is just a little switch here. It's connected. This is a low brake. The high brakes on those are very effective. You know, they really break the system. But you have to anticipate, you know, when you're braking, just make sure that you don't run into cars. Hey Rick. So I'm going to yeah, I'm going to put that bar in there. That will be my footrest. I can even put the switch there, you know, for braking, so I can brake that. But I rather have the feel on my hand here. So I may add this switch just on this end of this steering wheel. This is my throttle right here. I moved the throttle before I had it on the frame at the bottom, so I moved it here. It kind of sticks out a little bit too much, you know, but it's because I'm using this maker pipe connector, and it has about a 3/4 of an inch additional tubing here. I could bring this in a little forward, but it's fine. It's working great. Once I put that bar there, I can rest my feet a little bit better. Otherwise, I'm having to kind of just rest my feet over these clamps here. So yeah, my steering is excellent here. I decided to go with these clamps, as I posted in my other video. I made these bracket, these steering brackets with you know, for the spindle bolt for the wheel, and these have a little bit of an offset here in the distance between that bolt and this bolt right here. So there's an offset there, which is assisting me in a little bit of an Ackerman angle adjustment here. This wheel actually turns a little bit more than the outer wheel, the way I have it set up here with these angles, and with this there's an, you know, this is not totally straight right here or parallel, you know, with those bars. It's a little bit on an angle, so that kind of helps too. It's been helping. So we can see here the wear on these tires is a little more even than what my original setup was doing. I mean, I had all these angles there, and it was really, and it wasn't reinforced. This is reinforced with 2 bars at the front that's holding that almost like a C-shape support there for this bracket and the spindle. So it's working out really, really well. Now we can see the front. Now once I put that bar in the front, it'll act as my my footrest, but also as a guard, as a front end guard. I just think it looks a lot cleaner, you know, that way, you know, with the direct drive to the rear wheels. This looks like a live axle, but it's not a live axle. It just looks that way because I have this tubing right here is actually supported it's actually supported by another maker pipe connector on both ends right here. You can see the connector sticking out a little bit. Then over that I have these steel plates with a spacer here underneath this tube right here. That's for extra support between this this bar in the bottom plane, because this distance right here is it's a little bit high, 1.5. I guess I could have removed. I also have a spacer here that I did for my other setup when I had the 1.5 inch tubing here. Wow, these motors they're hot. That motor's hot. This one's not so hot. This one's a little bit hot. So yeah, even with this setup, you know, we're putting a little more strain on the motors, but you know, I got plenty of these motors just in case something were to go wrong. I am noticing also that this wheel is it feels like it's a little bit loose for some reason. I'm gonna have to check my plates here, make sure that those screws are nice and tight there, because they actually clamp that step or that recess that I made on these PAU or PU foam wheels. This one's nice and solid. This one's a little bit loose. Feels like it's a little bit loose, but I think it's just a matter of tightening these screws here for this plate. Yeah, these are not bad. These are worn, but typically that's how they should be. I think these are a little bit hotter because I'm running them with a much bigger wheel, so it's you know, this has got a little more. This has got a little more more mass, you know, to contend with than just you know, those the regular wheels or tires that come with these brushless motors. But you know, it's pretty clean. It's pretty yeah, pretty simple. You know, it's not simple to make one of these. It's a lot of work, but it just looks it looks a lot more simpler than the one I had before. The one I had before, it just had too many things at the back, you know, to drive the wheels. I was trying, and on top I was driving these humongous wheels, you know, these 13-inch wheels. These are 10-inch, just like the front ones. So I decided, you know, just to keep it all at the same basically at the same level. The rear end sits a little bit higher than the front end, but yeah. So this is where it's at.